Hello there, my beautiful collective signs. This is Rachel with Dark Knight Coaching. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching. This is a general collective message, so if it resonates, it resonates. If you click this video, chances are there's probably something here for you. I don't believe in coincidence. I do believe everyone is divinely guided and divinely timed to see certain things when they need them. So this reading is timeless. All of my readings are. I do particularly hone in onto the current lunar energy. That's kind of how I do my readings. I do meditate before I get on here and I shuffle the cards and everything, and the song that kept coming up was The Door by Teddy Swims. So right now I feel like you have a door or a window of opportunity for action, for making a choice, you're at this pivotal point here of having this fork in the road of something you're going to choose. However, Spirit's guidance is to go by the book. So that was the first card that came out for your reading here. Now, by the book is number 11. 11 is usually symbolic of portal energy, 1-1. So if you're saying 11-11 a lot, that's because this is a window of opportunity for you, a choice you have to make. And maybe it's one you feel like you've already made, but I do feel like Spirit really wants you to take action on it. There is, in this Lionsgate time period, we have an energy portal, which is basically, we have a choice here, this 8-8 time period, and then the energy kind of dissipates slowly as the 8-8 portal closes, but we have kind of a 2-week or so energetic window to make decisions and choices. And this isn't just this only time frame we have to choose something, but this is a major portal of energy that is shifting the collective consciousness. So your time isn't run out. There's always time to change. There's always time to plant new seeds for growth, but Spirit really wants you to follow the moral and logical steps to get where it is you want to go, is what I'm hearing. So it's this by the book is baby steps, a little bit at a time, but it will get you where you want to be. Now, the next card I have, collective, is I add value to the world. If you've been struggling to see what your place is here, what your role is, what it is you're supposed to be doing, or you just feel like you're struggling with your soul purpose, your soul mission, your identity, I just want to tell you, I feel you. We all go through this sort of unsure, unknown time period, especially if you're doing the spiritual work. You're definitely diving in deep headfirst into your subconscious, and sometimes that's a very weird slap in the face of all of this stuff that you're what am I even doing? All of this stuff keeps getting thrown my way, but I don't even know which way to turn. And sometimes we end up putting ourselves in isolation mode because it's overwhelming, and you can't really figure out which way is up or down or sideways, or what direction you're headed. So you might just be in this reserved state at this time. But Spirit really kind of wants to get you out of this energy, because I feel like you're holding yourself back a little bit, but it's coming from a place of preservation, but that usually stems from a place of fear. So I understand that. I like being in hermit mode. I like being in an isolation mode because it's a safe place to be. Because sometimes there's a song that Janae Aiko sings that's hell is other people. Sometimes hell is other people, and sometimes just being at home with a book and a cat and a cup of coffee or a tea, that's nice forever. I could live in there forever. So this isolation mode, Spirit does want you to break out of your shell if you feel guided. I know some of you are probably watching this no thanks. Totally feel it. When you're ready, you're going to do it. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. So no pressure, but kind of pressure, because they want me to pressure you. So anyways, the blue around this card is also symbolic to your chakras. This is tied to your throat chakra, which is speaking your truth, but it's also tied to expression. So I feel like the action that you need to take may not necessarily be throwing yourself outside in a crowd. I feel like it's a lot to do with expressing your thoughts and your creativity in a positive way that resonates. So the card I have for you from my Power of Love deck, which is basically the love lesson you're trying to learn at this time, is action. It says you have the courage to express the unique loving colors of your soul. And I love when people phrase this as expressing the colors of your soul, because we are all energetic beings. All of us have an aura, many auras, and I do feel like if you feel guided, you should definitely go get your aura photo taken. I've had that done a couple times, and it's very cool, especially if you're doing a lot of healing and a lot of like shadow work and growth. You can really see progress. It takes a while. It's not like instant. Like your aura changes every day in ways, but like your ultimate, like your chakras and energy centers, usually if you find an aura photography place, they can take pictures of your chakras too. Those shifts sometimes take months or years depending on how much you're healing or how fast you're doing the shadow work. So I do think that if you do take a picture of your aura, go get one in like 6 months time, and then you'll see like shifts, because I've done that before where I had like a very red and orange energetic aura, and it was when I was in a very like fight or flight mode. And then after I had done a lot of healing and I had balanced all of my energy centers and really tapped into my clair abilities, which are like my psychic abilities and that sort of thing, I had a very, very purple and white aura. It was the coolest. I mean, I probably still have it. It's very cool, but it just shows like energy and healing it's real. It's scientific, basically. Now, the other ACT card I have where Spirit wants you to take action here is from my Third Eye Intuition deck, because we're talking about intuition and like our inner knowing and things like that. Spirit says, stop playing it safe. If you were to do one thing you've always wanted to do, but if you've been too afraid to do, what does your gut instinct tell you? And you have too much to lose by following a hunch. Now, for some of you, I do feel like Spirit is guiding you not only into like these creative ventures, but they're guiding you to travel, and they're guiding you to go on this like adventure of discovery, because you have two cards that are all about like expeditions and adventure and doing something new. So discovery is from this deck. I don't remember what this deck is called. I just got it at like TJ Maxx or something. I just thought it was cute with the pink and the gold, because that's like one of my gold and pink, like it's me. So anyways, this one says reawaken your sense of discovery and expedition. So maybe take a small road trip somewhere or something like that, or if you can afford to fly and like go somewhere, be bougie and go do that. And the next card I have for you is 56, but when I started this reading it was like 55. So 55, 56, those might be very important numbers. 55 usually symbolizes change, and I do feel like you're in the midst of change in lots of things. So this one says traveling. To be the traveler means you are not at home here. You know you don't belong, and since you're only passing through, your creative involvement is limited. You can't expect to change your surroundings, and nor should your surroundings change you. Be constant in your own way as you travel. Now, what do you bring with you into each new situation, and what does this place ask of you, and where are you going? So if you're still like searching for yourself, or you've been like sort of nomadic in your lifestyle, Spirit really wants you to kind of tap into like the why have you been doing that? Like I personally am a person who loves to travel, but I'm also Sagittarius, so like that's kind of par for the course with having Saggy in your chart. And I really love new adventures and going new places, because I love to learn about anything. Like I'm just a voracious learner for any sort of random knowledge. And my brain is like neurodivergent. So I retain a plethora of useless information, but it makes me a very personable person where I can pretty much talk to anybody about anything, because I've dabbled in everything. Like I'm so open-minded and just curious about life that it's a very cool personality aspect I have. So the next card I have for you is the Moon card. We'll do this one, and then I have like 2 more Oracle cards, and then I'm going to get into the tarot. So this one is, what do you need to release? Waning Moon, but I feel like it's the fears of whatever's holding you back. And then I just was guided to get this one as well. It says full moon in Scorpio. Some of you might have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. If you have a Scorpio moon, chances are you're very tapped into your intuitive abilities. You have a lot of witchiness in your DNA. That's just a fact. So, I think it even like, what is it? I'm trying to think. Scorpio moon, and then like something about Pluto. I can't think of it right now, but if Pluto is resonating or very like high in your chart, you probably have a lot of witchy abilities or psychic abilities as well. So Anyways, it's time to release negativity. So I do feel like Spirit is guiding you to try to get out of this like hermit mode a little bit, self-pity, self-wallowing. Now the last two the oracle cards I have for you are archetype cards. One is the Sword and one is the Queen. This is interesting because when I pulled your tarot, you have 3 feminine cards, a lot of feminine energy. You do have 3 masculine cards, but the masculine cards are a little bit more immature. So I do feel like you're really leaning into your feminine energy at this time. The Sword is about the truth. The Sword is the balance of light and dark. Also, it is kind of like the middle road you need to walk in order to find harmony. Now, the Queen is tapping into that feminine side, though. So I do feel like a lot of you need to be more so leaning at this time in your feminine, but it might be causing a bit of a storm for you, staying in this almost like a damsel mode. So just be careful or cautious of that, because no one's coming to save you, and that is rough to hear sometimes, like especially if we feel like people have our back, they might not. And the Sword of Truth comes in and kind of shatters any illusions that you might have about somebody trying to help you, because a lot of times when somebody might present themselves as being helpful to you, it's because they want something in return. So it depends on what place that they're coming from, but your inner self, your inner guide is going to know that, because you're attuned for sure. Now, the past energy I have is Queen of Cups. So maybe you were overly generous when it came to love. You were like giving everybody your all, and you were just putting yourself out there. And I feel like it probably backfired a little bit or left you a little bit jaded. And that's kind of why you're in this hermit mode at this time, because it's like you gave too much of yourself and now you're a bit more reserved. But you have the High Priestess in your present energy. This is your immediate energy, and this is really tapped into your internal knowing, your internal guidance. This is, again, access to your supernatural abilities, which if you're an empath watching this, you have the access to those abilities, which I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably are empathic. Now, the High Priestess is also the like divine feminine energy as well. So you're, again, really leaning into the feminine at this time. And then in your future, interestingly enough, you have a Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is an offer of love. So there might be love coming your way. It doesn't feel very mature, though, because I pulled a clarifier and I got the Page of Pentacles. So this could just be like a pretty mediocre offer of love. But I feel like subconsciously you know what you want. You're an independent, fiery, passionate like person, and you are maybe content with your cat and your plants a home alone until you can find the proper person, because you also have the Page of Swords in your subconscious, and this is like immaturity. So it's not necessarily saying like you're immature, but it's like you can understand and see the people who are immature because you're so tapped into this High Priestess energy. So like whatever did it for you before isn't working this time around, because you've really learned the lesson and you've been in this like isolation hermit mode, and you really are not putting yourself out there to get hurt all over again. So even though there might be offers of love, you just have to understand people can only meet you at the level at which they've met themselves. And sometimes that can create like a bad taste in our mouth. And I feel like that's the negative energy that you're like having, like, ugh, like I'm sick of that. Like I'm not doing that again. And that's cool. That's fine. Like don't put yourself out there if you're not ready. But Spirit really wants you to take your energy that you have, and instead of just like keeping it trapped at home, try to put it into traveling or creative ventures like painting. I don't know, go sign up for a pottery class, an art class, one of those fun classes where they like drink wine and paint things. I don't know if they still do that anymore, but that was trendy for a while. But you could do, I think they have like beer yoga or something like that. You could try one of those cool things and, expand your world. So that's what I have for you, collective. Hopefully this helped. If it did, please hit the like button, subscribe. It helps my channel to grow, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session, please feel free to reach out to me. If you're interested in a personalized tarot reading or an oracle reading, I can do that as well. And I just saw 444 on the clock, so you might want to check out that angel number, but I will see you next time.